All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another completed pages video. This is August 2022. I was able to complete a lot of pages this month. I don't know if you can see all of these books here. I think there's 14 pages, several double page spreads, so a good amount for me anyway. All right, so let me fix my pile and we'll get started. All right, the first book is going to come from Gentle Nature, and this, I colored a page last month in this book. And this book is by Black River Arts illustrator Karlon Douglas. And okay, so this was last month's page, and when I originally saw this page, I pictured a darker skinned lady with yellow butterflies and blue hair. Well, obviously this is like the complete opposite of that. I think I started off with the chalk pastels for her face, and obviously it wasn't dark enough, and so I just ended up changing the color palette. So the good thing is that there are double pages or duplicate pages in this book. So I decided to do the other page this month, the duplicate page, and try it again, more of what I was envisioning. And I think this is definitely more of what I had in mind. So this time I based pretty much everything in alcohol markers. And yeah, so her skin, this was the only issue with doing a big area, is that I did have some streaks around here. I tried to kind of camouflage it with color pencil, and it didn't really camouflage it. So hopefully it's not too drastic there. But yeah, so alcohol markers, and then I shaded with color pencil and probably Prisma color pencils. Dark green background. So, but yeah, I really love the way the butterflies just pop on the page against the blue and the dark skin. I used a little bit of some paint pens for around the flowers here inside there, and like probably the eyes of the little butterflies too. Her nails, I did add some Wink Estella. Let's see, hopefully you can pick up that sparkle in the nails. But yeah, so it's very interesting to have these two pages. So you can do something completely different, or you can use one as kind of a practice, which I've done too. So anyway, that is Gentle Nature by Karlon Douglas and Black River Arts. Okay, next two pages come from Fragile World, and this is a Kerby Rosanes book, and this book is special to me because my son's girlfriend gave this to me this summer. She stayed with us, and she knows I like to color, and she came back with this book and asked if I had it, and I was like, no, I actually don't. Surprisingly, I don't have this book. So anyway, okay, so this page, double page spread, is the lemurs. Just making sure I'm in frame here. And this happens to be like probably one of my favorite pages this month. I just think the color, maybe it's just the blue background, and then I think the lemurs really stand out. So yeah, I just really love this page. I saw when I was looking at pictures on Pinterest of lemurs, there was kind of a graphic art of lemur with these bright yellow eyes and a blue background. So I was like, oh, that is what I'm gonna do. Yeah, so kind of a lot of steps in here. So I originally did an acrylic paint background, starting light going to dark blue, but I don't like the streakies that, you know, when you do acrylic paint, it wasn't like solid, and I didn't like seeing all those streaks. So I went over everything with color pencil, starting with light and then going down to this regular blue. Now, that may seem like a lot of work, but it actually goes faster. Like if I were to just do color pencil first, it would have taken me a really long time. But because you base with the acrylic paint, it doesn't seem to take as long. I mean, it still took a long time, but not as long as if I would just had started with color pencil. Yeah, so I think the color pencil just goes on really nicely on top of the acrylic. And because there's already that color below, you don't have to worry about so much about coloring that white space. So yeah. And then I use Derwent Inktense for the trees. And I think the shading just of the water, you know, moving that pigment around looks really nice. Although I did shade some with color pencil. Like I added a little bit more blue. The leaves, I think I did do Inktense first, and then I came back and did color pencil just to kind of help brighten some of these highlights a little bit and to create a little bit more shadow for depth. The lemurs were done with a water-soluble crayon, these shuttle art crayons. And I did like a light gray, and I even have like a light blue. There might be like 2 shades of gray in there. And then I took a black color pencil, kind of darkened up some of these areas, and then a white Posca to really highlight some of like the face fur. The eyes are actually smaller than this on the original artwork. So I just took a paint pen, a yellow paint pen, and made the eyes a little bit bigger just to stand them out a little bit more. But yeah, I really like the way this turned out. The berries I just did with color pencil and Posca for highlight. Oh, okay, and then the next page comes from this book too. This was a video that I did. I titled it Shark Week. Let's see if I can get my video up just a little bit higher here. Okay, I guess I can't get that in full screen. Okay, so this one is Distress ink, or I think it's just stamping ink. It's not the Tim Holtz Distress ink. But for the background, and I wanted it kind of going dark to light, so the middle part would be the lightest. I also used Distress ink for the seal, for the sharks, and then went over with watercolor. I just wanted more of a painterly look and get some like kind of rough darks and lights that the watercolor is really good at. And then I did take a water sprayer and spray some water on top of that ink, which did do some bleed through. It's not horrible. Like I think I should be able to color this or cover it no problem. Let's see, the fish are all done with color pencil, Prismacolor, and Polychromos. I took a white Posca for all of these little bubbles here, highlights in the teeth, highlight on some of the body and on the fish. Now, first layer of Posca on some of these areas does turn a little pink, so I just have to kind of go over them again. And although it kind of goes creamy, it's not like real bright white. I think it finally covers some of that pink. Let's see. Oh, and then, so all the splatters on here are done with watercolor. And the brand of watercolor I use is called Pretty Excellent. That's the name of it. It's just a very inexpensive watercolor you can find on a little palette that you can find on Amazon. All right, so fun pages here. All right, next one comes from Yippee, Kawaii, Mandala Magic, Volume 1 by Dani, Banani of Funusual Suspects. And let's see, all right, I did this page. Sweet and Slow. The little sloths, they're so cute. All these little characters in here are just the cutest. So yeah, so I used like 4 different shades of browns, dark gray for the eyes, and then several different shades of greens and some teals for the leaves, and then that bright pop of orange. So yeah, this was done with alcohol markers, which is nice. This paper is really nice. It's really like a heavy cardstock, so it does go through, but not too bad. But they're all 1 page, so yeah, not too bad. And I may have had to use fine liners for some of these little teeny leaves, but I don't think I did any color pencil shading. All right, so there's that one. All right, another book I haven't worked on in a while, but I was feeling kind of those beachy, summery vibes, and I chose Moana. Now, I don't know all the character names. I've only watched it once, and I don't have young kids anymore, so I don't know a lot of the character names. But I know the guy character in here, he's got a lot of like tattoos, so that's kind of what those images reminded me of. And this one is all done with alcohol markers also. I probably did a little color pencil shading, maybe I just used markers. Yeah, but I like this because you know, it's just kind of a unique form of a mandala. You have a lot of repeated images, but they're not necessarily repeated in the same circle. But then, you know, they've left the silhouette of the character out. Some people, you know, do special things in the silhouette. I like to leave them white. I'll outline a little bit around, but that's about it. And I did use some paint pens for inside the flower. So yeah, kind of like neutral tones here, but then we have these bright tropical colors for the flowers. All right, this is Disney Silhouettes. It is by Art Therapy, Hachette Heroes, and yeah, it's a fun book. All right, the next one is a page from Cursed Pirate Girl coloring book. This book I saw on Grumble Bunny's channel. I had never seen it before, so you know, it's like one of those things you think you've seen them all, and then it's actually been around for a while, so who knew? But yeah, the images reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean, which is one of my favorite kind of Disney movies, and of course favorite ride at the Disneyland or Disney World. So yeah, I picked this page. I did another video on this one. This is a color this with this video, and so I'm deciding this book because it reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. I feel like it should have like this kind of grungy, distressed, antiqued look. So I'm using a lot of like distress ink products. So a lot of Tim Holtz kind of grungy, distressed things. So I did gesso this page, which I had never gessoed a page before. This paper is a little bit thinner than even like Kerby Rosanes books, so I was a little bit worried about anything with water like going through to the back. And even with gesso, which, you know, I'm sure it's my mistake, not the gesso's fault. I'm sure I just didn't give a good coverage, but there was a little bit of bleed through. So not everywhere, so that's why I'm thinking it's probably because of something I did. Anyway, so distress ink around the images. I don't know if it's the gesso or what, but it really made these water spots really stand out. The water was able to move and create all these cool little water designs, which is what I was wanting. And then this is actually a stamp. It's a big stamp by Tim Holtz. I think it's called Bubbles. I don't know offhand, but yeah, I thought it kind of looked like water like coming up on the shore and like receding back, leaving all those little like foamy bubbles around. So yeah, really cool. And then I used some Inktense and color pencils to finish her off. I did not like the way markers and color pencils feel on gesso. It's a little bit like coloring on sandpaper. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'll do for the rest of the book. I may have to gesso everything just because it is thin, but we'll see. So anyway, this was fun to do. Looking forward to doing some more pages in here using Distress ink products. All right, so this is Cursed Pirate Girl color and book by Jeremy A. Bastian. All right, next book is also a video that I did, and it is a double page spread in Tales from the Forest Kingdom by Hanna Karlzon. And this page was another video, and my video on what inspired me for this page, and it is a Netflix show called Dream Home Makeover, and the interior designer was wanting a very kind of moody color palette for this couple's wine tasting room. So yeah, very fancy. Yeah, so there was like these dark like emerald green colors or like hunter green colors, and then the couch was like this chartreuse color, so I thought that was cool. I wanted to add some chartreuse in here. And then there was like pops of purples and oranges. Yeah, so I think I got the color palette good. I used Derwent Inktense for the background, which I have a love-hate relationship with the Derwent Inktense for large areas. People do some amazing things, and yeah, so I've gotten some good tips for it. But yeah, so if you look at it from like here down, I think it looks really nice. Yeah, so it's just mainly Inktense base, some like water-based marker base, and then color pencil to finish it off. And I do really like how I did this kind of tall wavy grass in the background, so that turned out well. Let me get up here to see if I can show you some of the kind of finishing touches. So in the gold, I do have some gold acrylic paint in there, and there's some diamond glaze like in these bigger gems. See that? And then in the like pearls and some of these other things, I do have like a glitter acrylic paint in there too. Yep. And some paint pens, white in the center, and then I think I used the Inktense to create the little circles around there. Posca to highlight some of the fur in here. But yeah, I'm happy with the color palette, and like I said, I really like the grassy background. It's just kind of up here I'm not super thrilled with, but yeah, always love Hanna Karlzon's images, and yeah, this is like one of my favorite books. Okay, all right, the next let's see, 1, 2, 3 books I have. I'm going to blame A Cluttered Life and Elm Colors. I was like binge watching a lot of their videos, and came across some that they were talking about one of their favorite illustrators, Forest Diver. Also, she goes by Julia Rivers too. I'm not sure what the difference is or connection, but on some of her books it does say Julia Rivers. So anyway, I just thought I'd put that out there. Anyway, both of them talked about him, and all of their pages were so cool. So I love their color palettes. So I looked on Amazon, and there were, because as you can see, they have a lot of different books. So I couldn't decide which one, so I ended up getting 5. These 3 excuse me, these 3, and then there's 2 that have more like quotes and inspirational like sayings inside of them. So I got 2 of those too, but I didn't color in those yet. So all right, so the first one is The Hidden Spirits of the Enchanted Forest, again by Forest Diver. And I looked through some different color palettes and came across this one. Little kind of girl into a deer. I love the antlers. So we have some kind of muted peach and green shades. And then what's really fun is I added these little pop of like neon orange, like reddish orange mushrooms, and then some bright yellow flowers. So yeah, I liked adding these little pops of bright colors. What's also nice about these books, so it's not the best paper quality, but I can use the alcohol markers, and for some reason those have been really fun to work with lately. So not having to worry about the back side, and these are all black printed pages on the back. So yeah, there may be some color pencil shading, but for the most part they are alcohol markers. Okay, there's that one. And then the next one is Keepers of the Enchanted Forest. And let's see. This one is also one of my favorites this month. Let's see if I can, oh, here it is. All right, so I think the colors are just very different than what I normally gravitate towards. And we have these fuchsias and purples and blues. And then the owls are bright yellow gold. And then I even added some like gold sparkly glitter in there. But yeah, I just really love the colors, how it turned out. You know, trying to pick more of like a simple color palette and then very contrasting colors to go to pop out. And then because I liked the like neon colors on my last one, I picked these roses for this kind of neon pink, and then just a little bit here and there. Again, alcohol markers. I think there's some color pencil shading in here, and then those gold accents. All right, Keepers of the Enchanted Forest. All right, and then the next one is Guardians of the Enchanted Forest. They're all like fairly simple, or sorry, not simple, pretty much the same type of characters and like, mushrooms and leaves and stuff. But yeah, they're, some of the characters are just slightly different. Let's see. This one, oh, here it is. All right, so same kind of concept. I was really enjoying the like contrast of like natural, more muted tones with the pops of like neon bright colors. So I think it worked well here. I kind of debated if I wanted them all this kind of reddish orange color, but I don't know. I kind of like all the different colors in here too. Again, alcohol marker base with a little bit of color pencil shading. I did use pan pastel for the background, which I'm not sure. I was kind of thinking I just wanted to leave the backgrounds white, but I felt like it needed to look a little bit like nighttime because of the owls. And then I thought it would help make those stand out a little bit more too. So yeah, all right, there's that one. All right, next one I've been seeing a lot of is the R.J. Hampson books, and I was gonna get the pirate one. Some of the images were really cute on that, but then I don't know if it's because of these that I had seen. I was kind of in the forest mood, so I got Forest Song, and this one also has duplicate pages, which is good because I'm not sure I'm in love with this one that I did. So I was, kind of thinking of all my bright colors in the previous books and decided to do something bright with these tree houses. So this page is called The Forest Kingdom. And yeah, it's different than what I normally would have done. I probably would have done something very more natural looking, but yeah, I decided, I think I was gonna do all these teal houses and then changed it to the pink and purple houses, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's, it stands out, it's very bright, but yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure I'm in love with it. And it wasn't until I started coloring some of, when I had already decided on the colors, that I saw these very, like, masculine men. You got one carrying wood and then one the Viking here. So not sure if this is their house or what's going on, but why it's all like bright pastel colors and then you have these characters. So I didn't quite think that one through. So anyway, there is that one. All right, next book is Mythographic Animals. And, all right, so I always see such amazing pictures in here, and they, I start coloring them thinking I'm gonna like it, and then I end up not enjoying myself with these books. So, all right, so here it is. I was really looking forward to the crab because he's like one of my favorite pages in here, but yeah, I don't know if it's the color combination. I think it's really similar to the last one I did in here, which is the frog. Where are you, frog? Oh, this one. So, greens, purple, and orange. Green, purple, and orange. So I don't know. I think the orange color started off wrong, and I didn't really have a color plan as I was moving forward. So yeah, so there's that. I do try to camouflage the hidden objects, try to just make them look like they're part of the vegetation, which I think is fine. There's a few that I highlight, but for the most part, I try to just make them blend in. The background is distress ink and some water spots on here, really faint. And then these darker ones are actually a stencil. So it looks kind of like water splatters. Yeah, so I need to do another one just to like redeem myself. Maybe I'll do the baby one that wouldn't be anywhere near those color choices. So I'm not sure. I will do one and hopefully love it. So anyway, there is Mythographic Animals by Joseph Catimbang. I really want to try the, I think it's Wild Winter or Wild Arctic. That one looks really cool. So anyway, need more practice on those for sure. All right, coming to the end, I promise, guys. All right, so this page comes from the Rita Berman's trip around Europe. And I haven't colored in this one in a while, and I don't know why, but anyway, so here is this page, and I really like this page too. I wanted kind of a very romantic color palette, so we have these like pinks and greens and lavender. This is all done with first chalk pastel, and then I wanted a little bit richer pigment around the edges, so this is a pan pastel just to darken those edges up a little bit. And then luminance and maybe a little bit of Prisma, but mostly luminance color pencils. The background, I pictured a nighttime cityscape, and so I did kind of this brownish gray house here, more towards the light, and then as you go into the distance, then it gets a little bit more gray, except I have a little bit of highlight here on that building from the light of the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower, I started out in blues and grays, but then I took a paint pen with yellow and white and just made little spots to show the lights shining. A little bit of electric eraser I tried to do around the edges just to help with it kind of looking like it was glowing. Oh, and I just love the little kitty cats here cuddling. So cute. The windows, I used this extreme glitter. So I just watered it down a little bit and did a wash in the windows. You can see a little bit of glitter in there. And a white Posca. Now the white Posca, I did a couple different layers because I wanted to change to that purple shade. But, oh, and then I also used that glitter for the polka dots inside the curtain. Let's see, hopefully that's getting picked up. All right, there's that. And then the last page, excited for Rita Berman's newest book, which I've seen some flip throughs and it looks amazing. So this is her free download, her trip around Asia. And this one is done with polychromos, which I don't use my polychromos as much as when I first started coloring. They were my first set of like good pencils. And I don't know, I feel like I always reach for my Prismas, but when I use my polys, I love them. They're so fun to work with. And then I also don't gravitate towards gel pens, like sparkly gel pens that often, but I decided it just needed that extra something. So I used a lot of different glitter gel pens. So yeah, well, some of my favorites are this little kitty here. And let me see if I can hold this up closer so you can see all the shine here. I love this building with this kind of dark teal going into that lime green. Let's see. Yeah, and then all the sparkles there. Oh, and I love this one too, the lanterns. I always struggle with buildings so close together because it's like I want each one to stand out, but yet I feel like I need to color them all the like different colors. So I decided to do these kind of teardrop shaped roofs in gold. Leave some buildings white so that others can stand out in front. But yeah, I think this was a lot of fun to do, and I'm so excited for her book. I should be getting it hopefully in the next week or two. So, oh, I'm going to show you guys a couple books that I'm going to be working on next month. So this one I've actually had for a while. Oh, darn it, I can't remember exactly. It's like adult premium coloring book. Jackie Kimono. Hold on, let me look at this this. Make sure I have it right. All right, Jackie Carimono, Wonderland Animals. So I purchased this one on Etsy, and yeah, so it has like the artist artwork in the front and then the images to color in the back. So I've been looking forward to coloring this, but other books have just kind of jumped in front. So I'm going to be doing probably a video on this one. And then also I'm going to blame A Cluttered Life for this book. I feel like I've seen this book so many times, or like the gnomes and the mermaid one, but nothing really stood out to me. Like I didn't gravitate towards it until rewatching some of the A Cluttered Life YouTube. Yeah, what she did, I thought just really made the fairies stand out. And I think that was my issue before. Nothing wrong with how other people color them, but it's, to me, the fairies are, you know, the main part, and they're so small and like fragile, kind of dainty looking, that you don't see them with a lot of these flowers. And I don't like to do a lot of flowers either, but the way she colored them, and then looking at the artist, let's see, it is Denise Klettel, I believe, seeing some of her own artwork, I was excited to get this book. And I love the characters of these little fairies. They're so fun. So I'm excited to color in this one too. And I also have gotten some oil pastels that I'm going to be trying, because I like more solid backgrounds, and Derwent ink tints and acrylic paint can be kind of streaky to me, so I'm hoping with the oil pastels I can achieve some like darker, more bold, like solid backgrounds. So we'll see how that works. And yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. I hope you saw something you liked and that inspires you, and I'll see you next month.